comes the police haven't succeeded in the disarmament exercise? How safe are the candidates? Bruno?
Yeah, the second question, I think I've answered it already.
Yes. Disarmament exercise.
Yeah, the first one is on disarmament. Yeah, it's not a very easy exercise globally, disarming. You remember even last time, when we had the challenge in the US of those people with their guns, and they asked to surrender the guns. So there are those kind of challenges. So we usually appeal to people so that they can just be good citizens, heed the call of the government and of the national community to surrender the illegal firearms, yeah, of which some do, a few of them do, but majority don't. So it's not very easy, and especially when I mentioned that in these areas there are those cultural issues, and part of those cultures is that they have that great affinity with the firearms, because it goes hand in hand again with their cultural practices, yeah, of hiding and stuff like that, and the security. So it's very hard. At times we try to do that for disarmament, but again, it becomes again a very antagonistic, Yeah. Because that's like declaring war again. Okay. So we have to balance so many other issues, because again, so many other innocent people like the women and the children again get caught in the crossfire. Yeah. But it's still always an option on the table, but as a last resort. Okay. We should try to exhaust all the other entities. Talking to the people, using the local administration, the leaders, and a few usually do that. Before you deploy the use of force. Once in a while, you'll see the president maybe yearly. Yeah. Banning that stockpile. Some of them are actually from the guns surrendered. Okay. Yeah. Winfrey K says it's alleged that the incident happened on Friday evening. They believe she's talking about the incident on Professor Wangari Maathai Road. Can you ask him why there were no arrests done up until the public uproar arising from the online video? What took the enforcers so long to bring the hooligans to book? Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a question, even as we are looking into it. Yeah. What happened, this happened on Friday, I think, that in the day. Was it reported on that Friday? Yes, it was. But you see now the focus at that time was actually on the lady, yeah, her safety, taken to the police station. And then because she was traumatized, she had to be asked to go home and, to go home and report back today. So most of the details of the incident actually didn't come up to today, okay, in the morning. So the time this clip was coming out, in the open, at the same time again, the poor lady again had reported back to the station. Yeah. And that's when the fullness of the whole issue came up. Okay. And then we saw into action. Okay, so the lady also reported to the station today? Officially today, wrote a statement today. Okay. She spent the day, most of the day with the officers. All right. Yeah. Michieka Enoch says, how has the police service improved its relationship with its citizens to enhance security? A great deal, Enoch. That's an area, part of the police reforms. We're just focusing actually on that, basically. And that starts from even the way we brought it ourselves from force to service. And that just tells you that our focus is being responsible and responsive, most importantly, to the citizens. And we're doing all we can. We're trying to pursue the option of community policing as a good avenue in terms of policy and practice, where we can, we can try as much as possible to be interacting with members of the public, apart from just even trying to tell our officers to have that human face in all the other interactions with officers, when they're just doing the normal police cop work. But beyond that, we're asking them to try to come up with other measures. Yeah. And you have seen most commanders doing that. Look at our timeline, you'll see Nakuru. Every weekend is a big match between police, and public teams. Even the border borders. Yeah. This issue of border has been seen in Nakuru. Yeah. And the commander in Nakuru, and I want to thank Beatrice Geraguru for that. She's been trying to look for those kind of groups, either TOWs, Makanga, what you call Matankanga, or border people. All the time, they come with the teams, they play the police, just try, and other members of the public. Yeah. We've seen that in Kisii, we've seen that in Machakos, we've seen that there's an OCBD somewhere in Trans Nzoia called Celestia. Yeah. Doing a great job. And so many others, they are all doing that. Last week we featured an OCS from from a place in Nairobi, Mihako police station.
Yeah.
Just doing the same stuff. I mean, engaging with members of the public, small kids in schools and stuff. So we are doing so much, just trying to reach out to the public.
Yeah.
And we always ask them to give us that benefit of doubt. Of course, most of them look at our Twitter handle. Yeah. I mean, they dismiss us that, oh, that's just PR. It's not PR. We're serious about it, and that's the way we think we should go.
Okay.
And once we work together, like just today, you see like what happened today, where police and the public, we came together, crossed ranks and said, hey, what happened was bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Jacob Abere says, good evening, Trevor. Ask Shioso, what are the plans in place to control hooliganism acts we have experienced in the political gatherings? Are you aware of the chaos that rocked the Jubilee Party Nakuru headquarters today in the afternoon where there was a fight? What is the plan to deal with that? Yeah,
I've seen that clip, and I want to believe right now the Nakuru officers are taking action on it because it is very clear to see people who are involved. Most of the challenges we have been facing is maybe something happens and maybe, in a crowd, you can't really pinpoint the people. And then at times, again, is that practicability of maybe taking action. But in situations like the one of Nakuru, where it's clearly that we can see is ABCD was done, we can pinpoint the people, we should be taking actions. But beyond that, we go back to the basics. That
clip is actually on air right now.
These are people who are leaders, and they should just do what is right. They should lead by example. It shouldn't be them, fomenting those kind of problems or being part of it. Let them show leadership. Let them be the ones, to help us to maintain peace.
Will you be making arrests following that incident that is right now on air?
We should. Why not? That's a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an outright crime. You should take action.
Okay.
So, but I leave it to the local investigators for them to be able to identify who did that, collect evidence, and go to court.
Okay.
There are not options. There are not rules for one and the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truthmaster says, can the good police spokesperson comment on the high incidences of insecurity in Nairobi slums, especially Korogocho, Dandora, Kayole, and areas around Lakisama?
Yeah, that's a good question again. It's true that most of these kind of informal settlements are places with high crime rates.
Yeah.
What I know from our end, and I wish I came with my pocket for the I put it on. I actually slept with it. So you'll see 24/7 all the communication. It should tell you how much police are doing, just coordinating the operations in those areas to make sure that people are safe. But of course, we have some other challenges, normal challenges of policing, but we enhance our security. We are on top of it, and we shall keep on trying to do all we can to make sure that people in those areas are safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there another one before we get into the video questions? Andrew says, Trevor, our response and sensitivity to issues must also be addressed. The other day, I rescued a woman from the hands of a ruthless tout under the watch of the other passengers. Kenya is the only country where you will get killed while others watch and take videos. Okay. That's a solid point there.
Yeah, solid.
It's true. We all have to stand up for each other there. Let's bring up some of the video questions or comments that we have for the police spokesperson before we wrap this conversation up. Let's bring up the first one.
Wait until the period of examination in Marakwet, West Pokot, and Baringo counties to start sending security personnel there. Why don't we have a police station around every school? It is possible. Why now they are giving our children rough time in sitting for this examination?
Yeah, it's a good point, a good input, and those are, that's the power of community policing. When you talk to people, you get again their views.
Yeah,
and the very good, enriching inputs, well noted and well taken. But at times, we have those challenges of resources. We'll want to be everywhere. We even want to have a policeman for every one person. But at times it's not practicable because of the realities of the economies and all the other issues. But it's a good point. That maybe if there are places we have school with a good population of children in those kind of areas, there'll be need to have a police post or a police station. But again, we want to appreciate the government for the numbers of the police officers we've been getting. And with these numbers, we shall be able to devolve more police to those kind of far-flung areas. Okay. So it's a point well taken.
All right, let's bring up another question that's coming up on video.
I really commend those police officers who take care of our children when they are doing the final exam. But I would kindly request them not to be putting a very stony face when they are doing this work. Tafadhali wacheni kuweka sura ya kazi wakati mnalinda hawa watoto. In fact, I suggest that this work be given to those beautiful, smiley and motherly women police officers.
All right.
Well taken. We'll note it again.
Usivae sura ya kazi sana.
Sura ya kazi. We shall talk to officers. I'm sure they're listening, some of them, and I'll talk to them. Let them try to smile. Yeah.
Okay, let's bring up another video question.
Yeah.
Baringo area Laikipia must be considered with a great care. Also, we must consider about political rally campaigns. We are in political era campaigns this time must also be considered because these people likes to make jokes to our schools. So also the government must ensure that one is dealt with.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Mach Kahoy says, I had never had trust to the National Police Service like now. Last night, there was a break-in in my shed. Lost 2 goats. Went for OB today. Just now, I've received a call from Karatina Police that one has been found. They're calling me to the station tomorrow. He says, bravo. So it's true that it's some police officers actually working?
Not some, Trevor. Yeah. Correction. Yeah. Most police officers, majority of us who work so hard,
okay,
diligently and so well.
All right, let's bring up another video question or comment that's coming through.
How are you going to distinguish between 2 types of people? 1, those who are arming themselves to protect their livestock because that is their resource anyway. And 2, those who are who have armed themselves to take away the property, or rather to take away the livestock of other people. So what are you going to do to ensure that you work together with the communities to be able to root out these bandits who are destroying our communities? Thank you.
Now that's a very interesting question. How do you distinguish between those who are arming themselves in defense of people who might be bandits and the bandits themselves?
Now, we usually get to know, and you mentioned yourself when you spoke about the intelligence. Once there's an incident that has occurred and our officers move in, somehow you listen to both sides of the equation, and you just get to know what actually transpired. So on the ground, we have leaders, we have administrators, and so many other interested group people that usually liaise with, and we get most of our intelligence from. So we usually get to know exactly who are the aggressors, who are the victims, this kind of a situation at any given time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Edward Roland says, Bruno Shioso, police collect money from bars and clubs. Can you tell the public not to give bribe money?
Yes, and I think he said it for me, and that's what we say all the time. And even over the weekend, I think we did a tweet on the same. The thing is, police will be accused of something, in terms of bribery or corruption, but then we forget about the other issue, the other part of it, of being offered that money. So we are saying that we are committed, to handle our end of the stick. But again, the public themselves also complain. It's very simple and very easy for everybody if they don't just take. Maybe just try to go through that inconvenience of going to the police station, do it twice, and this issue will stop. But of course, we are not saying that we're trying to say that we are trying to bury our head in the sand. On our part, we are saying it's wrong, we condemn it, and we usually do take action. Secondly, wherever it happens again, people will just go to the social media and make those kind of complaints, but nobody comes straight. Because there must be a way we have to capture, an incident or a complaint, and then investigate an evidence and maybe take it to court. The way the CJ say that they have to go through the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
So we will read on the social media being bashed. Police have done A, B, C, D. You try even, I take the call there and there. I try to call the local commanders, and there's no report. Nobody, has bothered to go and make a report to the police. So again, it becomes self-defeating.
Okay.
So let's cooperate. If there's a problem, come over forward, make a proper report. The way somebody just say that he has an OB number. From there, we can now pick up things and move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wangari Mushui, as we wind up on this, says, kindly ask, why is it that the traffic police on the road see borders misbehave, including riding on the wrong side, and they do nothing? Even as pedestrians, they can hit you as you walk on the pavements because they don't follow the law.
Yeah, that's wrong, because they have to know exactly why they are out there in the first place. And that's why they are there, you see. So I'll just argue traffic officers that when you're out there, you have to know your key objective of being out on the road. First of all, is to facilitate free flow of traffic and all other road users. So they should, anytime they see, an offense being, a crime being committed on the road or any other offense, they should be able to crack the whip and take the action.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's bring up the final 2 videos as we wind up.
Mr. Trevor kindly asked him that, how do they provide security to the learners after their exams, just like the way they do it during exams?
Now, Trevor, in my view, the government has done little to assure learners in areas that have been affected by insecurity that they can go on with the examination and enough, and therefore they need to be assured of their security.
Okay. Brief comment on the 2. Protection for learners after exams and what you're doing to ensure they're okay.
The second one is about?
What you're doing to ensure that the learners don't operate in fear, because even though there's you're protecting them now, they still are in fear that tomorrow something might go wrong.
Yeah, and that's the reality of the issue. We can't run away from it. That fear is there and must be there for some time, and that's why we're working to pacify. I mentioned about the provincial administration. They actually day and night on the ground doing those parazas, trying to bring those communities together, talking to parents as we move in, to give that territorial security. Okay. So all that is being done, and it's part of the solutions I just mentioned earlier on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you made any headway finally with regards to the River Yala bodies?
Yeah, too much headway. Last time I think maybe I wrote maybe I wrote a piece in the paper. Just tried to. I went there personally. I saw what was happening, and it's true that a total of around 27 bodies were in the morgue. Okay, the reporting, which was erroneous, was that they had been collected from the river. But as you can see, that they were in the morgue. Some of them had been collected from the river. So the first thing that happened was what you call preliminary investigations, where there was a very strong team sent by the IG and the DCI of some of the best pathologists, and it was a multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral from different sectors. These are pathologists from government, from private sector, from civil organization and other interest groups with different expertise within their pathology training. Then we had the best of the forensic investigators who have been trained at the national level. Plus expert scientists from the government chemist.
Okay.
Plus, other actors, they were all down there. So the first thing they did was to do the autopsies. Yeah. We call the postmortems. That will now maybe try to assist. And through these are 27 bodies we're talking about. And part of it, using the scientists, we had to collect DNA and the profiles of DNA. So next level was now to invite all the Kenyans who feel they are having the missing people, because we are trying to make this as open and as objective as it can be. That's why we brought all these teams from different areas. So out of these 27, and based on this DNA profiling, vis-a-vis the buccal swabs from their relatives, who are around 87 or something who came, and their swabs were taken. The matching was done, and I think I wrote out the figures, but it should be around 11. Yeah. Well, they hit the matches.
Were identified.
Yes, out of this, there were listed the family members.
Okay.
Out of these, 4 of them are from the local community.
Okay.
Then from the findings of the autopsies, which is now very interesting, and which can now give further leads towards the theories that we can now build to advance the second level of investigation, which are now just about to begin. Some of the bodies, it was very apparent from the postmortems, and it was in depth done by all these experts. Some were from natural causes. Of course, some were from drowning, showing that they were from the river. And some other findings, again, different findings. Yeah. So we are now right now at the process of now trying to study. It's not an easy thing.
There are those who claim that most of the bodies are people who are running with the law.
No, you see, those are just generalization, people who don't have the facts. You see, you have to be, and that's why you have investigations, because people will just speak from the fly, something has happened, and I'll say what I want to say, and it goes on Twitter or whatever it is. But you see, you do investigations, it's factual, it's objective, and you follow the evidence. Okay. So that's what people said. But you'll be surprised that, I mean, it's a small number of them, a small number of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a small number, but we shall know all this still in the fullness of the investigation. But just a small number of this that fit that description. Even the other issue of talking about all the bodies who were in sacks, died, it's true some were, but not all, just a few of them. And that's why I'm saying that when you look at the findings of all of these 27 bodies, from the PM done by serious experts, from all areas, you see, they give you now a proper direction of where to follow for each. So right now what you are doing, which is not very easy, we are opening now an English file for each of these 27 bodies.
Okay.
You see, ordinarily we talk about a homicide or a murder, it's just one body. And you still make, but now we're talking about all this.
Okay.
So it's something that we shall require some patience.
Yeah,
and some goodwill from the public so that we can remove pressure from the officers who are doing the investigations. They have to move around the whole country from all these families, all these 87 families.
Okay.
Talk to them and move forward.
All right. Mr. Shioso, thank you for making time for us this evening.
Thank you. And I want to give you a gift.
What is that? A diary from the National Police Service. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's leave it there at that point. My name is Trevor Mbije. It's always a pleasure having you with us. And Bruno Shioso is the National Police Service spokesperson, who was speaking to us in terms of security and the state of security in the nation. All right? It's good night. And for everybody else who's made this possible, thank you so much. Bye for now.